Bonjour, this is Madame J, and this is a simple version of the pronom relatif lesson. So if you want to kind of go back and do the most simplified version of this as possible, this is what I was able to come up with for that. So when you're creating your sentence, when you have two sentences that you're trying to combine into one, I'm going to recommend this as kind of a flow chart, okay? So first thing, you're going to look at the two sentences and ask yourself, where is the repetition? Then you're going to look before and after the words that are repeated, the ones you've identified, and ask, are there any particular elements that signal one or the other relative pronouns? So if there are no special things before or after those words, none of these things on the list on the next slide, it's already been narrowed down to qui, que, or ou. And then if there is something, then you know it's going to be between dont or lequel, and then the variations on lequel, so auquel, duquel, depending on what is there. Okay? And then this is kind of the magic sheet that if you look at it, so qui is always going to be in front of a verb, que will always be in front of a subject plus a verb, dont is exactly like que, so that's what that arrow is representing, except that it takes the place of things that phrases that begin with de. Okay, and we'll show an example in this. And then ou is when you're relating place or time. Okay? If you have a preposition, that's a signal that you're going to use lequel, except for when it's a human being. So if you have a preposition, you're going to use qui for people. Okay? So here's our first example, and I'm going to go through this process that I've explained. So first, where's the repetition? Mon frère. So that's what we want to get rid of, okay, in terms of repetition. Are there any kind of particular elements, like if you look before these words, after these words, anything like a de or preposition? No. So then all we have to know then is what comes before or after the relative pronoun. So here the only thing that really tells us anything is that we're going to have a verb after the relative pronoun, and that narrows it down to qui. So c'est mon frère qui travaille à la banque. Okay, here's our second example. C'est la banque, j'épargne mon argent dans cette banque. I save my money in this bank. Okay, so is there a repetition? Yes, it's the bank. Are there any specific elements that we can notice that will signal us one way or the other? Yes, we have a preposition. Excusez-moi. So that tells us that it's going to be lequel. Okay, we're in that family of lequel, and because it's the bank, it's going to be laquelle, la banque. C'est la banque dans laquelle j'épargne mon argent. In this one, c'est la banque, je t'ai parlé de cette banque. We know, again, it's the bank that's repeated. Then when we look at, are there any particular elements that tell us anything? We have a de. And so c'est la banque dont je t'ai parlé. In this example, c'est la banque, je vais à la banque. Again, bank is repeated. Do we have a preposition or anything? Yes, we do. Okay. However, in this one we have two choices. Because à la banque is a place, we can actually use où. So c'est la banque où je vais. Or if we want to be very technical, we can say c'est la banque à laquelle je vais. And then this is the last example. C'est la banque. Je préfère cette banque. Again, bank is what's repeated. Is there anything before or after that's special? Not really. And then we have to kind of narrow it down between, is it qui or que? And we know that what's going to come after our relative pronoun is going to be je préfère. So we have a subject plus a verb, and that is a signal that we're going to use que. C'est la banque que je préfère. So I hope this helped. This was a little more simplified, a little more step by step. So if you were a little confused by the explanation in the book or by my comprehensive notes, hopefully this gets you back on the right track. Merci, au revoir.